Elite. Let me share screen my slides. And Kristen, whenever you're ready, you can record a meeting and also make us go live on YouTube.
Ooh.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're ready to go. So welcome again, everyone. Let me see if everyone's in here already. So yeah, they're joining. Everyone's joining. Hello, welcome everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So today's webinar, we have the honor to invite Stephanie Zisco, who's the Associate Director of International Missions with New England College here. And our topic today will be SEVIS transfer and CPT. So Stephanie will walk us through on how the transition actually works. Session spotlights include but not limited to, so it will be two parts of the whole session. First part, it will be Stephanie showing everyone the details and procedures through her slides, and the second half of the webinar will go through your questions. So don't forget to always put your questions onto the little bar that says Q&A on your Zoom toolbar so we can collect your questions. My teammate Kristen here will be here handling the questions, so please do so. And yeah, here are the topics: real expectation of hybrid learning and CBT working. And the second would be the top one rated East Coast CBT program by students. Next will be how the CBT process in New England College looks like. And last but not least is our Q&A directly with Stephanie here today. So I think it's somehow doing a play mode. All right. So next about us on who Go Elite is. Our office headquarters is here in Los Angeles, and we're a professional consulting agency dedicated to helping our international students to thrive in the US. So our service include but not limited to hybrid professional program application, F1 reinstatement or emergency transfer, or people who need change of status to F1. And our mission and vision. We have the mission statement of making students' American dreams come true by offering the help for the professional hybrid programs. And we're also certified by AIRC, which is one of the most respectable organizations in the American education industry. And we are luckily the sixth AIRC certified agency in the whole US. And you may realize these two very outstanding QR codes, they are for our free consultation. Just remember, as long as it's Go Elite service, it's always free. And you can scan the QR code to begin your free consultation with us today. Whether you have any questions about New England College or any dates you would like to know or program matching, we're here to help. So the WhatsApp group is for English consulting service, and here you can also see a Wacom chat QR code. That one would be if you prefer to speak Chinese with us. All right, let's go to our next slide. Okay, here we are to introduce our Go Elite Rewards program. At Go Elite, we support application process and foster a community to help students balance studies and daily life. You can also join the rewards program to earn generous benefits that we offer. And let me go to the next slide. So, of course, like today's webinar, we host weekly immigration and education sessions. So you can subscribe and sign up, find us on YouTube, as well as on our website. So you can subscribe to the whole series of our webinars that's coming up. All right. And of course, we are highly valued and reviewed by our clients as well. And we're very thankful for all of these beautiful comments. We have more than 500 reviews on Google Map, and we have a 5.0 rating. So here are all the platforms that we're on. We're basically everywhere on the major social media, English or Chinese ones. So feel free to connect with us and DM us your questions if any. All right, that should be the end of my introduction, and I'll let Stephanie to take over from here.
Okay, thank you so much, Alice.
Thank
And
you.
yes, we definitely recommend reaching out to Go Elite for further assistance, even if you are a New England College applicant. We work closely with their team to help you guys along the process. So, should I pull up my slides or are you going to pull them up?
Oh yeah, Stephanie, whichever you prefer. Like, would you like to share from your end directly or?
I can share my screen. That's
Okay, awesome.
fine. Okay.
Yeah, just figure it
I'm
would
just
be
going
easier.
to share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to show, I have a slideshow, just going to go through the post-admission steps and how that process works to get your SEVIS record transferred and your CPT authorization. We're going to focus on those today. There's a lot of information, so we just want to focus on that part tonight and then see if you guys have questions for us afterwards. So we'll kind of move through kind of quickly and then get to the questions. So everyone on here should be maybe already admitted or enrolled. If you're not, then the first step would be to submit your application and get admitted, which is also a pretty easy process. But once you're admitted to New England College, you have to do a few steps to get your CPT. So the first step is that you need to confirm your enrollment. So how you confirm your enrollment depends on your visa status. So if you're a SEVIS transfer, so you're currently on OPT and you're going to transfer to New England College, you need to send us the enrollment confirmation form. You'll just send that via email to your admission counselor. And so I'm sorry, that's the right here. So that submit this enrollment confirmation form. So that's probably the majority of the students are going to just email us that enrollment confirmation form. That's really important because you need to get your enrollment confirmed to get to the next step of getting your CPT. If you are a current NEC student and you're doing another program, you would confirm your enrollment by doing a change of education level form. If you're a change of status to F1, so you're currently on H1B and you're changing to F1, your enrollment is not confirmed until your change of status is approved and you get your I-797A. So you just have to wait for that, so you don't have to do anything. If you're traveling outside the US and re-entering, you would have to wait till your visa is approved or you actually re-enter the United States, and that's a small number of students that fall in that category. So just important to confirm your enrollment. Okay. Step 2 is after you confirm your enrollment, you will immediately be triggered to receive your NEC account information. So your NEC email, your My NEC, your student ID. This could take up to 72 hours, but it's typically not that long. It's typically about 24 hours. And you'll need that to access all of your NEC platforms. And if you are having trouble logging in or technical issues, so it's really important you access your NEC email because your CPT I-20 will be sent to your NEC email only. So you'll need to contact the help desk at nec.edu if you're having any challenges with that. Okay, so the next step is to complete the employment agreement form. That is known as the EAF, and you'll complete the EAF in the application portal. It's an e-form. It's very straightforward and easy to complete. You'll fill out the top part, which is your job description. And then you'll make a connection between your job description, your job responsibilities, and the program learning outcomes. So you'll have to write that out in your own words. And then you'll upload an offer letter as well into the form, and you'll submit the form. And then you should allow 5 business days to have another team, it's not my team, will review your EAF. So this is the most important part of getting your CPT, and you guys can all do this now before even months before your program starts. So if you're starting for summer one, you can actually do your EAF now. A lot of students already have. If you're starting for spring two, you definitely need to do it as soon as possible. Don't wait until last minute. Um, so you need to have this approved in order to start the program. There is an email address if you have questions. Your admission counselor can help you with this, though. If you're having a lot of challenges with it, let us know. Um, but it's important to know that you can't actually start the program without your internship or your job is secure. So it has to be approved. You have to actually have your job to start the program. Okay. Step four, after that, a lot of students will wait till their EAF is approved. You don't have to, but it might be a good idea to do the EAF process as soon as possible, get it approved, know that your job is um, definitely related to the program, and then you would request your SEVIS transfer to New England College. You'll contact your current university and your current DSO. You'll forward the email that we sent you that says congratulations, and you'll ask them to transfer your SEVIS record and the release date. So you want them to, you do it, you ask them in advance to transfer your SEVIS record on Wednesday before the program starts at the latest. You can do it sooner. It's up to you. You decide that date with your current DSO. Um, but you need to communicate with your DSO. Make sure they actually do it. Sometimes they forget to do it, or something happens, it gets transferred to the wrong school. So we've seen all of this before. And just make sure you request it in advance because some schools might require a 10-day processing time to transfer a SEVIS record. So the sooner you can ask them to do it, the better off you'll be because you don't want to be in a situation where um, it's too late to transfer your SEVIS record. So Wednesday before the program starts. So if your release date is Wednesday, your program starts on Monday. So that Wednesday, really that Thursday and Friday, there's 2 days where you don't have work authorization if your OPT. Now, this is only if your OPT was still valid and you were working up until Wednesday. You would have to take an unpaid leave of absence from your job for Thursday and Friday. And then you should, in theory, have your CPT authorized I-20 to start work on Monday. Um, so that's what we try to do. We can't guarantee that you'll have it by Monday, but we always try our hardest to make sure all students have their I-20s by Monday. So we get a lot of questions about the timeline of the transfer and the CPT start. And that's what it will look like for you guys. Um, Your class registration will also come later in the process. It's usually right before the term begins, like, it could be 2 weeks before. It's usually right in that window before your semester starts. But you don't register for your classes. An academic advisor will register you. But you do need to be registered to, get your CPT and pay your tuition and everything that's required for the program. So there is an email address here, studentservices_GPS@nec.edu. All of this information will come to your NEC email. Okay, and then step 6, you'll receive your CPT I-20. So everyone's nervous about making sure they have that I-20 because you need to share that with your employer. they need to have a copy of that I-20. So you'll get that only after your SEVIS record transfer is released and your EAF is approved. Your DSO will send your CPT I-20 to your NEC email. And that could be 1 to 3 days after the release date, which would be in a lot of your cases, that week before the program starts. For some of you, it may be sooner. It just depends on your situation. So you have to decide that date that you want to release your CVIS record. We can just tell you that the deadline is Wednesday. Um, and then it's just important, you don't work until you receive your CPT I-20. You check page 3, you look at the dates that the employer, the address, everything is correct. Um, Now this is it's either Blackboard or Canvas. We're getting a new learning management system. So a lot of you know Blackboard, you might know Canvas. So you'll need to log into the platform on the weekend before your classes begin. So that's just another step that you'll do. That's where you actually find the course materials. That's where you submit your assignments. You communicate with your instructors and your classmates. Everything is in this platform. And then you'll want to plan for your residency because it's usually about 1 month into your program, you will be required to travel to New Hampshire for 3 days. So you'll need to be on campus Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's 1 weekend per semester. Um, there are hotels in Concord, New Hampshire, that is the closest um, town. It's about 20 minutes from the campus. You can fly into Manchester Airport or Boston Logan Airport. If you're traveling, it's very easy to get around here, very convenient for renting a car, things like this. Um, and if you have any questions about residency, we do have a website just for residency about planning for those specific dates so you guys can make your reservations. If you live in Boston, it's actually easy. You can just come for the day. It's doable. A lot of students do that. Or you can even still get a hotel if you want it to be closer and enjoy the program. So I'm just going to stop there and then see if you guys have questions.
Yes, so thank you so much, Stephanie, for the detailed introduction of the whole process and what to look for and timeline details. We've seen a dozen of questions already, so I do want to remind everyone again that if you have any question about New England College Executive Program, now is a good time for you to put into the Q&A session. It's a little box with a question mark on it, so please make sure you do so, and then Kristen will collect all of your questions. So now I think we're ready for the Q&A session, right, Stephanie?
Yes, so
Let
I
me
don't know
share
if I
screen. Yeah,
see.
I'm gonna share screen from my end.
Okay, so I
For
should
all the
stop share.
questions.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Let me do it right now.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, you should be able to see my screen right now. And again, just want to remind everyone for the scanning QR code and book a free consultation, ask us questions part. And without further ado, our first question would be, oh, what is the deadline for applying to NEC for fall 2026?
So you have plenty of time. So it's always the application deadline is always about 2 weeks before the program begins.
So yeah, then whoever asks this question, I would suggest look up the start date for the fall. If you're looking for early fall or late fall, then deduct that date by 14 days. That would be the ideal timeline for you to apply. However, we do suggest everyone to try to apply as soon as you could and get things out of the door as early as possible so you have enough time to submit the document, collect everything you need, and make sure everything look good. Awesome. So our next question here will be, can we have the civics transfer after the classes begin?
No, so we have a pretty strict deadline for the SEVIS transfer. So it is Wednesday before the classes begin at 4 p.m. So let's say, for example, there's an issue and your SEVIS record transfers on Thursday, you would actually have to start the next semester. So they've actually done that for some students. So very important to transfer early.
Absolutely. So, everyone here listening, just keep in mind that New England College does have pretty strict deadline when it comes to civics transfer. So, you said, Stephanie, that's Wednesday before the school begin, right? And I remember,
Mhm.
semesters begin on a Monday, so that means you only have like 2 business of gap in your work, which actually puts you at advantage if you want minimal gap. So yeah, that would be a really good one to know and keep in mind. So next one will be what programs offer CPT at NEC?
So we have a lot of programs that offer CPT for our executive. It's the executive. We call it executive. It's hybrid. We have an MBA. We have three MBA concent or no, two concentrations. So software engineering and healthcare management. We offer data science and analytics, health informatics, IT cybersecurity, IT project management, artificial intelligence. Um, that might be it. So it's all on the website. So if you go through, it's apply.nec.edu is the application portal, and then you'll choose hybrid, and then you'll see the drop down. You choose your major,
Awesome,
and
thank
also
you.
on the
So
website.
yeah, that sounds like the program, executive program actually covers a lot of field. Like you mentioned, AI and then also healthcare industries. There's also IT project management. Of course, MBA itself will speak more into a general management role. And I remember there's a newly added program, maybe like software engineer, can also join. So yeah, make sure you scan the QR code, book a free consultation, and I will explain more and match you with a specific program that will be a perfect one for you. And of course, here I do want to kind of bring up that the admission requirement will be either the candidate has a previous US master's or previous US working experience, right? Is that still in place right now?
Right. So, well, the executive program, yes, you have to have at least 2.5 years of U.S. working experience in that industry, um, at least relative industry, or a U.S. master's degree.
Got it. Thank you. Awesome. That means when a student enter the program, they will be sitting among the people already have the similar experience that set them up for success for a networking from day one. So next one will be after I get the admission from NEC, how much is the enrollment deposit to secure my admission spot?
Oh, good question. So we have no cost. There's no cost to apply, no cost for the enrollment deposit. You just have to pay your tuition by Friday before the term starts. And you can set up a payment plan for your tuition.
I think New England College, among all the schools we've been working with, is the only one so far that can promise this. Like it's a no cost until it's your tuition payment deadline. So for enrollment confirmation, I do recall that New England College only requires the enrollment confirmation form to be signed. And then that's it. There's no payment at all upfront. And also there's payment plan, as you mentioned. So that provide a lot of flexibility.
Right. And so, I mean, I don't recommend necessarily confirming your enrollment unless you are serious about coming. But if something happens and you cannot attend, you can just still withdraw. and you won't lose any money. So that's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot to mention that part that studying the form does hold you liable for the responsibility. So make sure you're serious about your decision and then proceed with NEC. So next one would be, can I change employers while on CPT?
Yes, you can.
So absolutely, as long as the
Mhm.
field is the same as related to the program of study, right?
Right. So you can have multiple jobs. You could have like two part-time jobs. You can change jobs. You can, the job also can be part-time and unpaid. So it's flexible in terms of that. It's not that you're stuck with that one job, like H-1B or something where you have to stay at that job. You can change your job. It just has to get approved before you can start working.
Awesome, that's really great to know. And when you said Stephanie, they can work on two jobs, you mentioned it has to be two part-time, right? So is there
Right.
any requirement for the second part-time? Like, can it be in the same field, just for a different company, or
Mhm. Right, exactly. So you could do two part-time jobs, two separate companies. Maybe you're doing consulting for one company, you're working part-time for another company, as long as the work is related and it doesn't exceed 40 hours a week. So we do want our students to stay 40 hours a week because of your commitment to your schoolwork. It would just be impossible to work more than that because you need to dedicate, 10 to 20 hours a week on your schoolwork.
That absolutely makes sense, especially it's a graduate school setting. So definitely around 10 hours of work expected for each of the week. So next one would be if my CIVIS release date is set for Wednesday, can I still work on that date?
Yes, and yeah, I think if it's depends on the time, but I believe so. You would have to take that Thursday and Friday off.
Yeah, so to my understanding, the CIVIS record will be released to NEC on Wednesday. So whatever they had previously, usually they have CIVIS, then it's OPT. So that means they can still work on the current date that CIVIS is about to be transferred out.
Right, because that's the day that it actually is released and we create the
Mhm.
I-20. Um, so I mean, those details you would want to just talk to your employer about.
Got it. Thank you. So next one, I see our Q&A box is very busy right now. So everyone keep your questions coming and we'll get them on the Q&A sheet we're seeing right now. And we'll have Stephanie to answer and explain more for you. So next would be, will Day 1 CPT affect my future visa application? So I want to touch briefly on this one before Stephanie, you go. So the short answer would be participate in legal and compliant CPT usage. It does not necessarily affect anything. The only thing I might be thinking of is whether the school is qualified or certified or not, but today New England College, it's both nationally and regionally certified. So I don't see any issue with that, but I'm definitely looking forward to your take on this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Alice. We have a lot of students that have been in our programs and then gone on to get H-1B visas or other visas. Um, so it doesn't, from what we've experienced, that is not what affects the visa application, having the required internship. Um, we don't recommend, like, if you're outside of the United States and you're applying for the visa, um, we don't recommend, like, you would never say that you're doing a day one CPT program and your goal is to work in the United States because you're still on the student visa. So your number one priority is to be a student, and then the work is sort of incidental to that. So it's those at a US embassy or consulate would be a red flag. But if you're doing a change of status to H-1B in the United States, we've had hundreds of students get successful change of status.
Got it. Thank you. And when it speaks into like H-1B or green card filing in future, your immigration changes, there are a lot other factors speaking into it, like your personal qualification, the company's qualification regarding that. And what we've seen so far for the school related, your F1 status maintenance question, that could be just one small sector of it. And when it comes to CPT usage, that's another small sector that's under that sector that speaks into it. So again, I would say it still comes to the point that as long as you make sure the school is like with reputation and also it's well certified or accredited and your CPD usage is also approved and well documented, we don't generally see any issue with usage of CPT itself. So next one would be, are there any pages or groups where I can ask about carpooling? I don't have a car and would really appreciate any suggestion. That's a really good one.
Yeah, we do. We have a Facebook page. I don't know if you guys have it for the chat. It's a Facebook page for New England College international students, and there's one for executive students too. So you can join both of them. And that's a very common request during residency weekends. A lot of students carpool together, so it's very doable to find probably someone in your area that you can carpool with.
That's really good to know. So it's definitely they could literally just go on Facebook and search for the keywords you mentioned, right? Like New England College international students or executive program students.
Um, yes, I believe so. I can send it out. Are we sending the recording to everybody?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
So
we can send
definitely.
that link maybe in the email.
Mhm. Yeah, and for our enrolled New England College students, you can also talk to your goalie advisor. They will provide you with our WhatsApp or WeChat group link, so you can ask your peers whether they have the same residency dates as yours, and then you can carpool together.
Yeah, that's even better to do it through like WhatsApp or something.
Yeah, that's great. And next one will be, what does the schedule look like for the classes? It may be referring to both the online and residency.
Okay, so there's no schedule for the online classes, so it's at your own pace. So you're going to just log in, through every day, and you're going to submit your assignments, and you're going to participate in the classroom discussions and ask questions and um, do that all virtually so that it's not like a set time because everyone has jobs and are in different time zones. The residency is always Friday. It starts at early, I think 8 a.m. on Friday and goes all the way Sunday to 1 p.m. And you will be in class for 19 hours. You'll actually be in the classroom. You'll be with your classmates, and you'll have a very traditional, graduate classroom experience, all kind of condensed into one weekend. But other than that, it's at your own pace, essentially. You have to take that responsibility to log in when you have time.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. And I've been to the campus. I've also participated in the orientation at the auditorium or the theater on site. And also it's quite a really classic campus experience. And especially if you're traveling from cities like Philadelphia or New York, you would sense something really different and really like campus, traditional campus setting. And you find the staff really super friendly. And there's free lunch too, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
we
free
feed
lunch.
you
Yeah.
almost all weekend. You'll get breakfast, lunch, and snacks, coffee. Yeah, it's a beautiful campus, quintessential New England
Yeah.
campus. So very nice experience, very like relaxing atmosphere.
And vegetarian options available too, as a vegetarian myself. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very, very diverse offering. That's nice. And next one would be, when should I at least transfer my SEVIS? As you mentioned, Stephanie, that would be the Wednesday before their program starts.
Yes.
So typically that's like 2 to 3 business days before the Monday when you start your program. But we recommend you to do it as soon as you could. once you get the offer and confirm your enrollment. So next one would be how often does the CPT need to be approved?
Just once it will be approved unless you change jobs. So it's every semester you'll just confirm that you are still working at that same job. Very simple, like yes or no, I am. And then, okay, great. Here's your new I-20. So you'll get your I-20. There will be no breaks in your CPT. So you have CPT continuous for the whole length of the program.
Oh, that's really good to know. So for the CPT authorization, the EF form, if they stay on one job, essentially they just need to submit that one time, and then each semester they will receive check-in to ask them about whether they're still holding the current position and working, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's very sounds very convenient, but also very responsible since you have the semester-based checking with them. So next one would be, can the program be extended for 24 months?
So the MBA is 24 months. The IT project management is 24 months. So if you're in like data science and analytics or IT cybersecurity, health informatics, those are typically 20 months. Those programs cannot be extended. Um, the only time you would get a program extension is really if you had like a medical issue, and you would need a medical program extension. So, which is possible. So, if you are having any kind of medical issues, even if you're just sick and you're not able to finish your program, you need to have everything documented and contact your DSO as soon as possible. Don't wait till it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely. So in this case, I want to ask a follow-up question like, so if let's say the MBA program is 24 months, is it possible to add one more concentration onto it, or are we strictly cohort based?
Yeah, it's not possible to change the curriculum. The class, everything is like a set prescription of classes. Every semester you take a specific class, so there's really no flexibility. Um, what some students do is you can end up doing another program. So if you want to stay and do another program, you can just go into, so you finish data science and you want to do IT cybersecurity or something, so you can just transition into another program.
Got it. Thank you. That's also good to know. And next question would be, what happens if I submit my EAF on the last day? Can I start coursework for Spring 2 before EAF is approved and receive the CPT I-20?
Wow. Okay, what happens?
That's a lot of question and scenario. So I think the person means that they submit the
Okay.
EAF on the deadline. So
Okay, so yes, you can if it's just pending. Um, and you can start the program. There's just a risk that if it doesn't get approved, you would have to withdraw. So that's why we want your EAF to get approved before you start the program so that you don't have to pay your tuition and then worry about withdrawing um, from the program because your job is, your job, and you can't probably won't be able to find another job in a day.
that's so true. So here I think we need to add in the fact for whoever had this question that EAF does take time to approve. And if it's not approved, then you may want to re-edit it and have another conversation with your supervisor at work. So you can eventually get it approved. So I would say the process at least budget about a week for it. And EAF form, it doesn't essentially change your current situation with your employment. So make sure you get the paperwork into it beforehand so we can actually get you in line with the school starts as well as the CPT approval. And next one will be, what are the timings for the classes for 3 days? I think they're talking about residency. And Stephanie, I think you mentioned the class will begin Friday from 8 a.m. and then they should be able to leave Sunday at noon, right?
Exactly. And there's a website, nec.edu/residency, and that has the schedule on the website.
Yeah, and the free launch details as well as
Mhm.
orientation and the good pictures on there. I've been on that website a lot. So yeah, thank you. Next will be if I apply for NEC, do I need to provide POF? If so, how much? I think that's proof of financial.
Yes, you do. It's required to be admitted to New England College, and it's $24,505. It can come in multiple accounts. It can come, half of it can be on a credit card available balance. You can use a sponsor. You, so I mean, you can use your stock portfolio, things like this. So that is required.
Thank you, Stephanie. And it sounds like we offer a lot of flexibility regarding the documents itself, since you mentioned the stock and everything. Yeah, so that's very good to know for our audience here today too. Next person, my STEM OPT is ending June 29th. Summer 2 starts from July 5th. Can I transfer CIVIS before 29th? And will that be any issue? Can you please suggest me?
So summer two, sorry, let me just check on the website. It's July 13th, actually. Okay. So it's not, it's July 13th. So if your OPT ends on June 29th, you need to consider maybe starting summer one, which is it just depends. You would have like almost 2 weeks of not working. So you could also start summer one and then you would just have 2 days. It just depends on your situation. So you guys need to talk to your employer and see maybe they'll give you a 2 week unpaid leave of absence and they're okay with that. Um, so you just have to decide. So if you go to nec.edu/international and then you look on executive programs, you'll see all the term starts. So you can still apply for summer one.
Hey, that's a very nice suggestion. Thank you, Stephanie. So, this will be more of a concern for the person and their employer's discussion. So coming from the school side, there's no like compliance if they have like 2 week of gap, right?
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can.
Gotcha.
And it's, but the transfer deadline is the transfer deadline. So you have to transfer on that day.
Gotcha. Thank you. Next person, currently student at NEC. Welcome. And trying to enroll into a different program. Exactly as you said, Stephanie. So current end date, April 26th. Do I need to do any steps for civics transfer?
So you would submit your application for the new program. The good news is you don't have to order new official transcripts. So we have your official transcripts from your first application. So it's a very easy process, and you don't have to transfer your CVIS. You're just going to do a change of education level. So you'll get a new I-20 for the new master's, and you would apply for summer one as well, which starts May 4th.
Got it. Thank you. So again, the current student showing up today really is a good surprise to us, and that also showcase how much of a reputation that NEC has built up till today. So again, welcome. So next one will be during the CPT program. If we get a new employer, how many days of the deadline time is there to report?
Um, well, you just can't start working at the new employer
Mm,
without getting a new EAF and a new CPT I-20. So it's going to be between you and the employer when they want you to start. Typically, you'd have like a 2 week notice at your current job, and
Mm.
then you to start your new job. So it's probably doable within 2 weeks, definitely. It's usually about 1 week to get your EAF approved, is the longest it would take. It won't take more than a week.
Thank you. So definitely budget for 1 to 2 weeks before your new job start date to put in the paperwork, the EAF, and apply for the CPT authorization with NEC. And we have the last two questions here. So next one will be if we start from term two, how many subjects to enroll? Would that be the same if they enroll, for example, summer one versus summer two, fall one versus fall two?
Um, it's the same, right? So everybody has to take the same subjects, no matter if you start summer one or summer two. If you're transitioning into a second NEC program, you still have to take the same subjects. It's 40 credits for like the MBA, 36 for the other programs like data science and IT cybersecurity, health informatics. So the actual course curriculum is on the website. You can see the actual classes, all the classes that you'll take. It's all on the website.
So Stephanie, you're talking about the amount of courses they take for their each semester is the same no matter which term they start their semester, right?
Right.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. And our last but not least for today, can you do a CPT can I do a CPT for my own company and take the management course?
So no, unfortunately not. We do not allow students to do a 1099 or be like a CEO. For example, if your job title is CEO or owner, because that you're not learning anything, you're essentially like the expert at that point. So you need to have a position where you have a supervisor who is sort of mentoring you.
Yeah, well, thank you for the clarification, Stephanie, and for the 1099 part. So that said, even if a student has the supervisor and as a contractor with 1099, they still can't do the CBT, right? Or
Yes, and I'm not sure exactly how that's defined, but that's what we tell students. Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Well, thank you so much for today. That will be all the questions documented for today. And everyone will receive the recording of today's webinar to the email you use at registration. So don't worry, you won't get lost. And also the links to the websites that Stephanie earlier mentioned as well. So, well, thank you all so much for joining us today. And thank you, Stephanie, for really just hosting and together explaining the situation for students and answering their questions. And well, have a good night.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good
Okay.
one.